And then we go over to New England, just up the road there, for the NASCAR series coming up here. New Hampshire Motor Speedway. The Monster Mile is what we call it. 1.058-mile track up there in the New England area. Race length is going to be 301 laps. So if you do the math there, about 318.46 miles coming up this weekend. Now, the truck race doesn't race until Saturday here, New Hampshire. 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, so that means for those of us out here in the Pacific time zone this time of year, 10:30 a.m. start time for the truck race. I enjoyed the race being called on Friday last week and postponed to Saturday morning. I've come to love the truck race racing by itself on a Saturday morning. I enjoy it a lot. Well, we get it here, 10:30 a.m. Out here on the West Coast. Fox Sports 1 is where you can find this race. If you want to watch practice, you can catch it on Friday. If you miss Friday racing, Friday 4 p.m. Eastern, which means 1 o'clock for those of us out here on the left coast. Qualifying will be Friday night, 4:05 p.m. Eastern, 2:05 our time out here in the West. Cup Series drivers coming down to the Truck Series this weekend. Well, John Hunter Nemechek, Christopher Bell, Connor Zilich also racing in the entry level on the Truck Series. Now, the Truck Series regular season finale is officially here at New Hampshire. The pressure ramps up for the teams that are still looking for a spot in the chase. For those teams that have clinched a spot, as we showed you the championship points standings earlier in the show, well, you're going to be looking to build momentum going into the chase. There is zero room for a bad finish this weekend. The regular season finale often produces some of the most dramatic racing of the year. Every position can have a championship implications, whether it's just qualifying for the race, momentum. Got to pay attention to this here as well. And New Hampshire in the Truck Series, limited experience racing here. It's coming into this weekend. So you have a little bit of unknowns coming in on this Truck Series. New Hampshire can be a difficult place for drivers to simply rely on horsepower. Yeah, it's not about speed here at the Monster Mile. You'll need to find the right setup for the track to begin the race and adjust as necessary throughout it. But grip and tire management is an important part here for these Truck Series and can make a major difference. It comes now, especially if there's long green flag runs, which will happen in this race. Experience, crew chief, experienced crew team, and an experienced driver is going to be the key in New Hampshire coming up here. All of that being said, we'll just sum it up with pit strategy is going to play a major role in determining the winner in the Truck Series this Saturday. Crew chiefs will have to balance track position with tire management, especially as the race gets older and the laps start to wind down as well. But they're also going to have to keep an eye on fuel mileage, potential cautions that could come up late in the race. You don't want to pit and then have a caution come out right away, and then you're in the back while everybody else is kind of just waiting for you to come back or not pit. And then you have to pit during a caution and everybody else has already pitted. Scenarios, and that's where the experience of the pit crews is going to be crucial. A late race caution could completely change the complexity of this race. Drivers who appear to be in control, well, can go away quickly, and they'll be fighting for the lead and for the race. And then teams that gamble on pit strategy, it could backfire on really badly, or it can put them in a position for a surprise victory when they didn't look like they could win at all. Yes, it's easy to look at Lane Riggs as coming out of this race with a checkered flag. He was my pick last week, at Richmond for a lot of those reasons. But I'm not going to ignore Caden Honeycutt. He's been gaining momentum. See last week's win at Richmond and domination at Richmond as well. So you can't ignore Caden Honeycutt. Now, Stuart Friesen needs a good race here. I don't think he's got enough to get the win in this, but he's got enough to get a top 10 finish coming up this weekend. Tyler Ankram's another story. Okay, we got to watch him as well. Who's going to come out in front? Speed has something to do with it, but it's the experience on that side. Lane Riggs is the easy pick here in the Truck Series to go with, just like I did last week at Richmond. I actually had already penciled in Caden Honeycutt to win this race, and then he won last week at Richmond. Makes me double think that. All week long, going up and get ready for the show, I've been kind of double checking and going back on my Caden Honeycutt pick for this weekend, who I want to pick. Do I switch it back to Lane Riggs because the opposite happened as well? I don't want to pick Lane Riggs this weekend. He let me down last week. I'm going to say going into this race as well, with the experience on the pit crew of Caden Honeycutt, his momentum going forward, I'm going to stick with Hayden Honeycutt to get his third win of the season, 2 in a row, coming up this weekend at New Hampshire as well in the Truck Series. I'm looking forward to seeing the strategy. The final race of the regular season for the Truck Series, folks, they're going to know, drivers are going to be told, you're 4 points out. Tyler Ankrum, for instance, you need to pick up 10 points here at a stage. He's going to have to make decisions like Tyler Ankrum's going to have to stay out a little bit longer. Stuart Friesen's going to have to stay out a little bit longer to try to get stage points to make up some points coming up here. Does that affect them in that second stage with pitting, etc. situations? Decisions are going to be made, and then if it's even closer than that, right, it's going to come down to decisions being made. How do you move up 3 spots? Let's say Taylor Ankrum gets knocked out of this race early or a midway point. Well, Stuart Friesen on the outside, he knows he's got what he's got to do to get there. He'll get told at some point, you got to finish X position. Let's say he has to finish in 5th position or higher, and he's in the 10th spot. He's going to be making moves to try to get up there and get into that position. This is going to be a fun race in the Truck Series this weekend.